Hello.
So we're going to be presenting on Holden. Our company is Holden Ltd. This is a car manufacturing company, if you didn't know. So it's going to be presented by me, and my mates are Muhtasim here and Mohammad. So the prime purpose of this business is basically to make dream cars of their customer and at an affordable price. So their main objective or the purpose here is to ensure customers value for money. Value for money is like the value you're paying is whatever you're getting in the service. So then the next thing is, what type of business is this? Okay, so GM Holden is a limited company and Australian automobile manufacturer that operates in Australasia. So now you might tell what Australasia is. Australasia is basically, it covers the countries Australia, New Zealand, and the New Guinea. It's like the Pacific Ocean and their neighboring islands. And as you know, the headquarters of GM Holden is in Port Melbourne. It's in Victoria. Okay, who are the owners? This is a very interesting thing I found out. Holden is basically General Motors. General Motors is an American auto manufacturing company, and they're the world's second largest company in automobile manufacturing. And the first, as everyone knows, it's supposed to be Toyota. So Holden is the sister concern of General Motors. General Motors, I told you, it's like an American automobile company, and Holden is basically General Motors' Australian subsidiary. So Holden is also a multinational company, which I'm going to talk about later. And the chairman and managing director of the company is Mr. Mark Bernhardt. He was appointed as the MD or the chairman of the organization in June 2015. So he took the charges in June 2015. And now Muhtasim is going to talk about the business and its effect. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muhtasim, and as Shahtaz mentioned, General Motors Holden is considered to be a public limited company, and this type of company has a couple of features, positive and negative features. If we look at the example, an example of an advantage is like shares can be bought and sold on the stock exchange, and that means that the company can raise a lot or a huge amount of money to finance its operation. Also, public limited company can publicly advertise shares. Shares like in a newspaper, magazine, or even in television, and that could help attract a lot of people to invest in the business. And on the other hand, there is also a disadvantage of operating a public limited company. One disadvantage says is like accountant must be published annually. That's mean the procedure of doing the report, or it's the same as saying it's a financial report of the company, the annual report of the company will cost require a lot of money to establish, and that could considered as to be on the expense section of the company. Also, disagreements can occur always within a company, because this, or you can say, decision making can be slow. That means like disagreement between manager and owners always occur. The second part is that is this a small or medium or large business? Well, it's the whole General Motor Holden is considered to be a large business, because it requires a lot of or a huge amount of or you can say an enormous number of people or staff to operate the business from raw materials into a full shaped cars. Also, and in addition, Holden has partnership with more than 50 countries around the world, and that's according to Holden official website. And now Muhammad will talk.
Hello everyone. As you know, my name is Mohammad and today I'm going to have two parts of this presentation. So the first part I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to answer some questions related to the business. And the second part I'm going to talk about my concept, which is monetary convention. So let's start answering the questions. The first question is, what are the rules of the accountants in the holding company? So what is an accountant? Basically, an accountant performs financial function related to the accuracy, relating to the collection, recording, accuracy, and analyzing of business or organization's financial operation. As Muhtasim mentioned before, Holden is a large company, so it may utilize an accountant who may present the company's financial operation to the people within the company and outside the company. So this is one of the rules of the accountants in holding company. So there's many rules, you can find it out in their official website. So the second question is this a successful business? Explain. The answer is yes, it's a successful business. Research, according to research, it's evident that holding company has achieved a healthy amount of profit for the financial year of 2015, and it shows that in their financial report, Holden has achieved an after-tax profit of $128.2 million for the year of 2015. Thus, it's a successful company in terms of business. So it is going to operate for the future as well. Now we are moving back to Muhtasim to explain his concept.
So I will be covering of what is called as the general purpose financial report of the company Holden, and I will start by asking by answering a few fundamental questions, and later on we're gonna look at an example of the annual report. The same saying annual report or the financial report, all the same terms. We're gonna look at an example of Holden financial report. So what exactly financial report? Financial report is basically an annual report that tells us how the business is performed or the performance of the company, and it's usually it occur like annually. Also, by looking at the transaction and the activity of the company within a certain period of time. So, and also why it is important. There is a couple of reasons, that said like it's important, but I will focus on the three significant reasons. The first one says financial statement tell you the performance and the value of your company. In order to measure the company value, we need to look at this financial statement and determine. And the next one is financial statement important for potential investor, lender, and other creditor for making their decision. The decision they mean by whether to invest or not in the business, or in that case, Holden. Also, the financial statement and other tools help you manage your company. If you are, for example, owning a company, you need to look at these financial statements
and say whether, for example, if you want to hire someone or hire someone or fire someone, you need to manage it. You need to look at your financial statement, and you can manage these things. So here are the main component of the financial report or the annual report. It must have a balance sheet to see the financial position of the company, and also a statement of profit or loss, which is the income statement, and the cash flow statement, or the movement of the cash within the company. Finally, here I will explain what is the or I will take an example of Holden annual report. Example of annual report of 2015, which covered the balance sheet of the company. Now, if we look at this if we look at this balance sheet, it's actually comparing two consecutive years, 2014 and 2015. But sadly, it didn't appear very well for technical problem probably. Anyway, so these two, if we look at it deeply, we will see that there has been a significant increase from it's supposed to be the number in 2015 are way less than in 2015, but it has been a significant increase in all the transaction, except for the total liability, which has dropped for because the company has stopped borrowing money from the whatever place it borrowed from. So if we look deeply, or if you want to know truly whether it's successful business or not, we could see that the total assets is way higher than the total liability and the total equity, which means that the company, the Holden, is performing well, and its financial statement is in a good condition. So if you ever thought of holding a stock or exchange, so try to put Holden as in the top of your list. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about my concept, which is monetary convention. What's the definition of monetary convention? Basically, it means all the business transactions are recorded in terms of cash or cent, dollars, whatever it is. So, for example, to make it clear, if you are operating business in Sydney, it has the currency in Sydney is Australian dollar. But if you have the same business in America, so you need to change the currency, because the economics of America and the economics of Australia it has many differences. So the currency in America is different than the currency in Australia, but the profit is the same. So can you move? How it's related to the holding company? So holding company operating in two or more than two countries. I'm going to give an example of Australia and British. So holding company operating some cars in British and it make the same profit as it makes in Australia. So because it is at the same profit, but it's changed the currency or the amount of the dollars. So for example, if the cars, if holding company sell the car for $10,000 in Australia, it must, and with gaining $5,000 as a profit, so it must have the same profit in British, but with different amount. So this is basically what our monetary convention is. And now let's move to Shahtaz talking about this concept.
Okay. So my concept was conservatism. So as you know, conservatism is also known as prudence concept. So this is an accountancy concept where it's a safety measure. Safety measure in a sense because here they're overstating the expenses always. Like any expense, say Holden, for example, have waste of raw materials. So that is, if it is like 5%, they're actually considering 7%, so that they're being in the safe side. If it's like less than 5%, then that even goes into the profit. If it's more than 5% or 5.5%, then even I have 7% covered for that. So basically it is that expense and liability, these two objects, as we know there are four, like asset, liability, expenses, income. So these are the four entities of accounting. These are the four backbones where accounting is actually standing on. So in conservatism concept, it is said that you have to always, in any case, any kind of business, doesn't matter if it's Holden or if it's Apple or if it's any business, but you have to always overstate the expenses, or the expense is supposed to be realized in 30th June. But when you're doing it, you already realize the expense. But when it's profit, like for example, if you relate to our business, Holden, for Holden, as I said, like expense overstating is like raw material wastage. So it's like 5% wastage, but I keep 7%. But when it comes to profit, if I don't sell a car, I cannot incur that profit. When I sell the car, when I get the money, I'm telling again, it's not on credit transactions are even not considered or realized as profit until unless you get the money, it is deposited in your account. That's when you can actually realize that profit. So this two concept is where conservatism principle stands. So conservatism principle, I'm just repeating again, its main objective is to overstate expenses, liability, or any kind of risk. You just take more of risk so that you minimize your, like you're more in the safer side. If even the risk maximizes, like whatever you assume, if even it goes up for some like 5 to 10%, then even you can actually, you don't have to really be concerned that your business is gonna suffer a loss or something, because you have already provisioned more of a loss. And the profit thing I'm telling, so for Holden, if you don't sell a car, you cannot put that car into your profit. So when the car is sold, when you get the money from your customer, that's only when you can realize that profit. Thanks. Thank you for listening to us patiently. And feel free to ask us any question. It would be my pleasure to answer you. Thanks.